and welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G. I'm your host, Dr. G, and I'm so glad you could keep our appointment. Tonight's guest, George Love Jr., Doctor of Oriental Medicine and founder of Five Love Transformations, is a Florida licensed primary care physician and acupuncture physician since 1986. Dr. Love received a Bachelor of Arts 1966 and a Master's in Biology from Temple University in 1976. In 1982, he received a Ph.D. in Sports Medicine from the American College of Sports Medicine. After Dr. Love started his private practice, he met Professor John B.Y. Lee, aka Li Bing Wan, a Taoist scholar and Qigong master. He was accepted as a student, and within 3 years, he received his Oriental Medical Doctor degree in 1984 from the Beijing Longevity and Rejuvenation Institute in Virginia. He began teaching Qigong classes for Master Li in 1985, and in 1994, Master Li conferred upon him the lineage of his family Qigong. He was given the name Zhenwu and made the 13th lineage holder of Qing Long Qigong. As a lineage holder, he was asked to write a book and perform Qigong healing that is called Dragon Immortal Qigong. The responsibility of being the lineage holder required him to teach and travel so that the formerly hidden knowledge would be securely planted in the West. Dr. Love has done a lot of other things. Co-founder of the Kitchen Physician School of Natural Healing in Boca Raton from 1994 to 1999, and was the director of Amazing Herbs and Acupuncture from 1999 through 2003, and from 1989 through July 1994, Dr. Love was director of Shield Wellness as well as founder of the Shield program for psychoneuroimmunology. He has written 10 books on health and nutrition from clinical experience. Tonight, I am so excited to have Dr. Love here on the Dr. D show, and also to have my co-host, who you are very familiar with, Dr. Botanica, who goes way back with Dr. Love. So I want you to help me give a warm Office Hours with Dr. G welcome to Dr. George Love. Welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. Now that I got my head on straight, I'm so good, and I'm so glad. Listen, before we get started, y'all, please hit that, smash that like, hit that share. You're going to want to hear the information that Dr. Love is going to be conveying. This man is a legend in his own time. I know he has taught some of the ones you may know about have been his students in various and sundry times, I was told. So in any event, we are so pleased and we are so blessed to have him because he is doing some dynamite stuff. I'm trying to keep up with him very hard. To keep up with somebody that has his energy, but his programs are fantastic. I watch you, Dr. Love, on YouTube, and I've been in your one of your classes. I will admit that I didn't do right, but it wasn't you, it's me. In terms of just drinking juice, but I'm going to get back on track. But Dr. Love, thank you so much for coming on the show. Dr. Botanica, co-host, but I want to focus on you, Dr. Love. Tell us a little bit more about you and about why the world needs Qigong now, which is the title of this, because this is tell us about Qigong, and folks that don't know anything about it, let us know why we need it.
Okay, so there is a war against Black bodies. There is a war against our Holy Spirit. There is a war against our energy. And if you don't understand that you are in a war, then you are going to die. So we can dance around, we can drink Coke and eat Mickey D's and French fries and pretend like everything's fine, and people are dying every single day. Now, if you don't care about your life and you don't care about your health, then I don't either. I only care about the people who want to save their own lives. So, the best place for a warrior to be is in training, and that is the boot camp. And Dr. Botanica took my boot camp 25 years ago, and he comes back every 5 years to retrain through the boot camp because I keep upgrading the boot camp. Okay? Now, right now, 90% of the population of the planet is scared of an airborne virus. And what they should be scared of is their emotional heart not being nourished. What they should be scared about is their disconnection from the Holy Spirit. What they should be scared about is they don't have access to real food, food that grows in the ground without artificial fertilizer and without poisonous pesticides. That's what you should be scared about. So your question to me is, why do I think the world needs Qigong? And my question to you is, why are you not in Qigong right now, Dr. G? That's my question to you. But I know you're not going to be able to give me an answer, so I will continue. So
I sure can tell you, but I'm not in it right now because I'm on this program with you. But I do.
Yeah, but you could be in it and still on the program. But that's another story.
Okay.
So the one thing that your immune system does in your brain is direct the lymphatic system. The lymph system is constantly filtering all the dirt in your body. And the liquid dirt goes to the kidneys, and the solid dirt goes to the colon. So that's the lymph system, but it is directed by the immune system. Now, the kidneys filter all the fluids. Your body is 60% water, and that is interstitial fluid. Your liver filters all of the blood before it gets to the heart. The kidneys filter all of the fluids before it nourishes the liver. So liver, spleen, and kidneys are three organs that are responsible for naturally detoxifying the body. Now, the liver is in charge of muscles and tendons. So if you're not exercising on a regular basis, then your liver's filtration is not 100%. The spleen controls the lymphoid system, and unless you're exercising every day, then the lymphatic system does not work 100%. Now, the kidneys are beneath the lungs. When you fill your lungs up with air, the lungs press down on the kidney. What's on the top of the kidney is the adrenal glands, which secrete adrenaline and noradrenaline and other neuroendocrine hormones. So every time you take a deep breath in, you're pressing down on the kidneys. Now, how many people, take a good guess, Dr. Botanica, are suffering from adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion?
90% plus.
90% plus are suffering. Now, what is the number one mental illness that Americans suffer from? 40% of the population suffers from generalized anxiety disorder. So we have low anxiety, we have high anxiety, and then we have depression. The organ that secretes the anxiety hormone is on top of your kidney, which means you are not breathing properly. And now, if you take slow, long, deep breaths on a regular basis. In other words, you practice specialized breathing techniques that I teach, 8 different breathing exercises. Then what happens to your adrenal glands? They calm down. And what happens to your anxiety? It calms down. So unless somebody teaches you breathing exercises and teaches you mental focus through meditation and teaches you the proper way to walk, stand, sit, run, bike, swim, ski, dance, jump, then you are in bad shape. Dr. Khalik?
Absolutely. I mean, pretty much most people are compromised, as Dr. Love had basically elaborated on. Various levels of stress. The kidneys are compromised, and the kidneys are the essence of life. So when you compromise, when you're dealing with anxiety, you exhaust your adrenal glands, which produce cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So people right now are in fear. They basically embrace more fear than they project love. Okay. When you're connected with the universe, you have no fear whatsoever. So this is why the breathing, the Qigong, I mean, all the mechanics within the Qigong are so effective to every organ in the body, the liver, spleen, kidney, the adrenal gland, of course, the neurological or neurotransmitter activity, where you're able to elevate and balance like your dopamine, your acetylcholine, your serotonin. So when that is the importance, and that is the reason why the world needs Qigong now, because of the essence that it produces within the human physiology.
Well, now, Dr. Love, you were given a commission when you were with Master Lee? Did I say it right?
Master Lee.
Master Lee, when you were made in part the 13th, you got the 13th lineage of that, and so I noticed it said that you were responsible for bringing this to that, making sure that the West had this information. How many? And so, since 1984, you've been doing this, or how long have you been teaching qigong? Or
37 years.
37 years. Wow. And how many?
38 years. Okay.
38 years. Approximately how many students do you estimate that you have impacted over those 38 years?
I have no idea. I have never stopped to count.
So, and you don't know all the ones that may just click and find you on YouTube and start taking.
I have no idea. I am not trying to count behind me. I'm only looking forward.
Okay.
I'm only looking forward. I'm looking for the next one.
Yes.
Okay?
Now, I love it. I think, me personally, I have a few mental blocks when it comes to sometimes the coordination of, but maybe that's something that happens or changes over time with practice with it. But I do know that it is it is proven effective, because I have a very dear friend who, I'm not sure if I told her about you or if Dr. Botanica told her about you, but I told her about, or somehow she found out about Dr. George Love, and she started taking your classes. And when I saw her a few months ago, after having not seen her maybe since maybe the earlier part of the year, I was shocked, because I've always been smaller than her, and that's no longer the case. So no longer the case. And so she was trying to show me the lymphatic swing, and that's the one I really want to get. But I'm that one that's uncoordinated, and when it comes to rocking back and forth. But what I wanted to do, and so I don't keep her holding on for long, we don't mind. I wanted her to come on and give her testimony about her experience with, since she's been taking qigong and your classes.
I would love for you to bring her on to talk about her testimony, but I think what we really need to do is put the information in front of the people. And
Okay.
then when we talk about the retreat that we're getting ready to do,
Bring her on
then we
then.
bring her on when we talk about the retreat, because
That's
then
good.
that will help you decide whether you want to come to Florida and study with me directly. Okay.
Definitely.
Now somebody's already asking.
I'll be there. I'll absolutely be there. But I need to get, because I think if I'm right there where you are, I'm gonna know what where my right kidney and my left kidney and my liver spleen is and all of that stuff. But somehow, on TV, watching it on YouTube, it's in reverse, and I just have a block with watching things in reverse, trying to figure out if I'm doing this right thing.
Well, actually, Zoom flips it for me.
Oh, okay.
So if you're on the Zoom, you're going to see it the right way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zoom automatically
sign up
reverses
for
it.
the classes. Sign up for the classes.
What are you waiting for? Okay.
Okay.
So I want to give a little bit more information. Okay. So we have movement because we have to move the blood. Then we have food. Now, do you want to eat dead food, or do you want to eat live food? Do you want your food to have energy that we call qi, or do we want your food to have no energy? Okay. Now, you would not intentionally eat or drink poison. But if I lied to you and told you that Coke is life, and I gave you dancing bears and hugging teenagers kissing babies, you drink poison because you were bamboozled into doing that. Okay? So we need to rethink the messages that we listen to. Okay? The third thing is our energy. Now, my wife is 28 years younger than me. I jump out of bed and I'm like ready to go. I'm excited about my day, about what's going to happen. And she's like, oh my God, he's the Energizer Bunny. I got to keep up. So if you don't jump out of bed like I do, you're already sick. You understand? Your energy is already flatlined. So if you're hanging out with me, you're going to have high energy. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is emotional balance technique. Now, some people, when they get upset, they sing. Other people, they dance. Other people take a walk in the park. Other people play with their dog. There's many different emotional balancing techniques. You got to pick one. Now, number 4 is sleep, meditation, and sex. Now, the only way we got on the planet was through sex. If you believe that God created you, then God created you through sex. So that is something we have to deal with. Our brain says survival's number 1, reproduction is number 2. We talk about the birth canal and we talk about the birth chamber. We don't use the other words that people use colloquially because they have no meaning. We know what a birth chamber is, and we also know what a birth canal is. And if you understand that, you will treat your body better. And the 5th thing that we have to be concerned about is our spiritual connection. So we have to become spiritually aware, we have to connect, and then we have to elevate. Can you do that overnight? Absolutely not. Can you do it in 5 years? Can you do it in 10 years? Can you do it in 20 years? Definitely. But you got to start and you have to be consistent. If you want to be a good tennis player, do you take tennis lessons once a week? Or do you take them every day? If you want to be a good golfer, do you play golf once a week? or do you play 3 or 4 times a week? So whatever you put your attention to, that's where your energy goes, and that's how you connect, and that's how you elevate. And so those are the 5 messages that I bring with Qigong. Because Qi is the electromagnetic energy that flows through your body like blood flows through the veins. And Gong means self mastery. Another way of saying Qigong is vitality exercise. And if you don't have the vitality, then you're lost. Okay? Now, bring on Sister Deborah.
Oh, okay, Sister Deborah, how are you?
Greetings.
Can you hear?
Hi, Dr. G. Hi, Dr. Love. Hi, Dr. Britannica. Can you hear me?
Greetings.
Yeah, we can hear you just
We
fine.
hear you. We hear you.
Whew. I'm excited.
Look at you. Yes, look
I'm
at you.
really excited. Yeah.
I'm
I wake
excited
up-
for you.
Thank you. Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
I wake up every day with a smile on my face. I can't wait to get to do Qigong. I mean, I'm up at 5 a.m. With Dr. Love. But how my journey started was first, let me go back. Dr. G introduced me to Dr. Britannica. Dr. Britannica introduced me to Dr. Love. And it's through Dr. Britannica's protocols that I got introduced to Dr. Love. And so I started, let me go back a little further. Why I started on this journey was I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I was scheduled for surgery maybe 2, 3 months after that. And a month before I was about to have surgery, I watched Dr. G's show with Dr. Britannica. And the very next day, I asked for Dr. Britannica's information. And so I got in touch with Dr. Britannica, and Dr. Britannica started me on different protocols and to balance my health, I'm going to say it like that. And it's working every day. Then I got introduced to Dr. Love, and I started doing Qigong. What I love about Qigong, I mean, first of all, it has changed my life dramatically. My mindset had to change about the way I thought about me. Uh, in reference to Qigong, I'm learning about the anatomy of my body. I learned to love myself. I look at myself in the mirror every day and I say, I love who I am becoming. You know, I am beautiful. But on top of that, I have energy. I mean, life energy. I mean, I like heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidney, chi. I be at work in the bathroom doing Qigong. I mean, the lymphatic swing, when I started, well, I call it the lymphatic, but it's the lymph swing. When I started doing that, my metabolism kicked in and the weight began to drop tremendously. So from starting with Dr. Britannica in, I think it was April or May, till right now, I've lost, the last time I talked to Dr. Love, I told him I lost 60 pounds. I've lost 65 pounds.
Wow.
So I'm 65 pounds lighter than what I was. And
You're
I've dropped
smaller
4
than
sizes.
me.
Yeah, 4 sizes. When I started with Dr. Britannica, I was a size 22. Well, no, almost 5. I'm between 14, 16 right now. But it's not just about the weight loss. It's about spirituality, learning how to breathe. I mean, I can breathe better. I love it when Dr. Love says, he shows you the techniques on breathing through walking meditation. I mean, this will take dedication. And if you want change, change will take place. But first, the change has to take place in your mind. And then once it takes place in your mind, I mean, there's no stopping. Right now, what the practices that Dr. Love teaches, I mean, it's as Dr. Britannica said, it's phenomenal. So I'm excited. I really am excited, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning and growing. But I'm saying if you want change or stop dis-ease. When I went back to my medical doctor, she did not recognize me. That's what she told me. I didn't even know it was you, Deborah. She said, "What are you doing?" And I just said, "I changed the way I eat, and I changed the way I think." That's what I told her. And not only that, I told her some of the things that I had implemented in my life, and it has changed my life dramatically. And so, Dr. Botanica and Dr. Love, I want to thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so proud of you. You have been my sister for 21 years now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've seen you along this journey, and anytime I can look, my clothes are too big for you. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
You're welcome. Thank
Dr.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Love.
Okay, so now Dr. Botanica has been following me for 25 years. So he asked me to put together a retreat for a special group of people. And I said, listen, I don't want random people calling me and doing this thing. I said, if you say these group of people are going to follow the program, then I'll put a retreat together. I am not here to convince you that I'm right. I'm here to help you once you've made the decision that whatever you've done in the past did not work. Now, there's a ton of weight loss programs. People go up and down. I myself had weight issues for 20 years. But once I discovered the right way, I never had a weight issue. I myself was scared of taking herbs because two of my uncles were medical doctors and they told me, oh, herbs are bad. You could get poison and die from taking herbs. Well, I took the herbs and guess what? I never took another drug again. I don't take aspirin, cold tablets, sinus aid. I don't take any of that. So I am living proof. Everything that I tell you to do, I've already done it. I had bad allergies. I had skin issues. I had asthma. I went through all of that. And at the age of 72, you tell me, how do I look?
You look
You
good.
tell me how I look at
You're
72.
looking good. You're looking
Okay?
good. You look good.
Don't look at me too.
And the issue is really how much energy you have. It's not about how good I look. It's how much energy I have. And vitality training, vitality testing, and vitality therapy. And that's what I want to teach you. So we have the first retreat scheduled for Easter weekend, April 15, 16, and 17. And then the next one is going to be a month later, and they're all around the full moon. Every retreat is right around the full moon. So April, May, June, July, August, there's going to be 5 retreats, one a month. Now we know you may not want to do all 5, but then again, you may actually want to do all 5. Now, each retreat is going to include all 5 of the things I talked about, but each retreat will concentrate on a main theme. So the first one will concentrate mostly on Qigong, the second one mostly on diet, the third one mostly on energy, the fourth one mostly on emotions, and the last one mostly on spiritual elevation. So we're going to have 5 different retreats. Now, there's going to be raw food, and there will be juicing at all of the retreats. So those people will actually get a chance to eat the way that I recommend. We're going to have herbs at all of the retreats. We're going to have meditation at all of the retreats. And we're going to have entertainment. We're going to be drumming and dancing at the beach around a fire. And that just by itself. Now, somebody asked me about mental health. And I said earlier, 40% of Americans suffer from anxiety and depression. Now, what is the one thing that resolves anxiety? And the answer is music and dance and drumming. Now, we all know the one thing that everybody knows about Africa is that they drum. Everybody knows Africa, drumming. You could be in Sweden, you could be in Switzerland, you could be in Russia. You say African, they're going to say drumming, right? Now, when your hand hits a drum, a vibration goes up your arm to your heart. So the very act of drumming is putting a vibration into your heart that breaks up blood stagnation. So a bypass surgery is a blocked blood vessel. If you're drumming on a regular, guess what you don't get? Blocked blood vessels. Dancing is exercise. Who wants to exercise? Nobody wants to get up at 6 a.m. and exercise. But Deborah, tell them why you can't wait to get up and exercise with me.
It's fun. Dr. Love has the music. I mean, it's fun. It's enjoyable.
It's fun.
It is. Very
fun. It's not a chore. It's not, oh God, I have to go to the gym. It's fun. And if it ain't fun, you're not doing it. If it don't taste good, you're not going to eat it. So that's my claim to fame, is I make it fun and I make it taste good. And that's it in a nutshell.
Like ice cream.
Okay?
Wow.
That's why Khalik has been with me 25 years. When he gets depressed, who does he call?
I have to say the first, I mean, again, 3 weeks. I mean, Dr. Love is, again, my favorite word is phenomenal. He is literally phenomenal. In 1995, I was 242 pounds. And the very first time I ever conducted a juice feast, and again, it was nothing short of dramatic, okay? He's like, I'm going to help you drop that weight and detoxify. He put a major emphasis on detoxification and weight loss. We worked out every morning. We jogged. We did Qigong. I went from 242 pounds, literally, to 205 pounds in 3 weeks. He's a phenomenal coach. I mean, he's very strict. It's like It would be times I would come down and I would we'll go to a little gathering, they have these little snacks, and George would hit my hand. But I appreciate that, because we need that type of coaching to get us out the gate. Okay. So, and you're talking about feeling good. I mean, I actually, when I left Florida and came back up, people thought I was on crack, but I looked good. I had very little body fat. I felt literally pure. And every time I go down when I'm depressed or whatever, that is therapy. That's what brings the three treasures back in balance: the Qi, the Shi, the Shin, and the Jing, which Dr. Love will elaborate on, at the retreat. But every time I will go down, I will literally become rejuvenated. The flexibility. I mean, even if you got up early in the morning and you did the swing arms or the Buddha palm, I mean, you could be 50, 60, 70 years old. After following this protocol, you're gonna feel 20 years younger, guaranteed. I mean, again, this is my personal testimony. You talk about going back 25 years and still following the pattern. There is no other therapy like this. You can take supplements, you can eat, but Qigong is the foundation of optimum health. I mean, literally. You're talking about DNA changing, mitochondrial changing, because the chi, it allows you to flow. It allows the energy to flow through the entire body and elevate your spirit. And this is why the world needs Qigong right now.
You're right.
That's
There are so many
beautiful.
people. Yeah, I think you said it too, Dr. Love, that you mentioned the fact that so many people are in fear. The world is in an uproar, and there has to be. This is a way to bypass and sidestep what everybody else is going through, and to elevate yourself to a higher level, like you said, the mindset, body, spirit, and not have to deal with this the way other folks are. It's almost like to be in the world and not of it, because now you're elevated above it through doing these practices. Am I correct?
That is absolutely correct. Now, when I started, when I became charged with the point of bringing Qigong into the world, I felt very inadequate. It was not something that I looked forward to. I was like, this is a responsibility. I don't really want this. I want to do Qigong for me, but I don't want to like get together, go to the class, come to the class. That wasn't my intention at all. I did not want to be involved in enrolling people in going to a Qigong class. And I kept saying, Master Lee, are you sure that I'm the one? You have over 70 students. Why did you pick me? Isn't there someone else that could be the lineage holder of your family for 260 years? Don't you have like a nephew or a great cousin? And he's like, no, you are the one. And I felt insecure and inadequate to the task. And he said, 10 years from now, when I am dead, you will remember my words, and all of a sudden it'll click for you. And I was like, man, this old guy, he's crazy. I can't do this. But for 5 years, I was perseverant in doing the Qigong for me. I wasn't doing it for you. I was doing it for me. And then one day, Master Lee materialized in front of me. I was at the beach. It was 9 a.m. The sun was brightly shining. And I'm like, can anybody else see this? It was like an episode of Star Trek when the guy materialized. And he says, why are you not teaching my Qigong? Have you written the book yet? And I was like, oh no, Master Lee, I'm going to write the book. That same day, a woman came down the beach and she said, I've been watching you for the last couple of weeks. What are you doing? So I explained to her what Qigong was. And she said, I want to be your student. This woman was the gymnastics coach of the Romanian Olympic team. And she wanted to study with me. I was like, whoa. The next day, the neighbor in my apartment building said, I've been watching you for the last few weeks. Would you like to have some pictures taken? And he took my pictures. 3 months later, there was a couple on vacation. They stopped. They joined me for Qigong. They called me up 2 weeks later and they said, we'd like to make a video for you, no charge. And they flew back a few months later and they shot my video and we put it on Amazon and we sold out. Okay? That was 2000. That was 21 years ago. And I've been doing this for so long, 20 years seems like yesterday to me. So, as I said, I am here to help you once you've made up your mind. I'm not here to convince you of anything. Dr. Khalik will convince you. Deborah will convince you. Dr. G will convince you. I'm here to help you hold your hand through the process. You are going to die, but are you willing to live? Are you willing to be a warrior? Or are you going to be cannon fodder for the media and whoever else wants to wipe us off the face of the planet? The choice is yours. So, Dr. G, tell them when the retreat is.
April 14th, 15th, or 16th, or am I?
You mean you don't know? You don't know 15, 16, and 17.
15,
it's Easter
16,
weekend.
17. Easter weekend.
It's Easter weekend.
I didn't get it yet. I know it's in April.
You were the first person to sign up.
I didn't.
You told me yesterday the check was in the mail. Oh. So
you're funny. You're funny. But looking forward to that part of it. Yes. Yeah. And you also, though, you have classes like we talked about when you mentioned Zoom. That
I have class every day. So if you want to sign up for the daily class, go to bluedragonqigong.org. Blue Dragon, QIGONG.org. So maybe somebody can put that in the chat.
Blue Dragon Qigong, .org.
QIGONG.org. Now, and I also do online consultations. So somebody asked me if I could help them with their health problem. So if you go to drqilove.com, there's a button that says book an appointment with Dr. Love. And we'll do a Zoom call. I'll be able to see your face, your tongue. I'll be able to help you because I've been doing this for 47 years. I've been doing this a really long time. So there's nothing that I haven't seen or heard. And how many organs do we have? Heart, lung, liver, spleen, kidneys.
Right.
And all of your symptoms can be tied to one or more of those 5 organs, because the organs interact with each other. The heart and the lungs are not separate. They are one system. The lungs' only job is to oxygenate the blood. The heart's only job is to distribute oxygenated blood. They are a system. The Jing is the first treasure. The Jing is the reproductive system and the digestive system. They work together. How are hormones made? From what you eat. And then the Shen, which is your radiant health, is your musculoskeletal system and your neuroendocrine system. The musculoskeletal system is the hanger. The neuroendocrine system is the electric suit that you wear. So those 6 systems is how we work through Asian medicine. So we don't treat symptoms, we treat systems.
Yep.
And this culture does not provide a foundation or any type of understanding to help us get healthy or stay healthy. This system that we live in is designed to make people fail, is designed to make people overeat, to crave poisonous foods. They put drugs in the food. They put drugs in the meat. They put drugs in the chips. They put drugs in the desserts. They put drugs in cigarettes. They put drugs in soda. And if you eat all that on a regular basis, you are literally poisoning yourself. And you can't blame them. You can only blame yourself.
For lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. Now, somebody asked me, is this a form of Tai Chi? Tai Chi is a form of Qigong. I hope that clarifies for Sister Rose.
Okay. Wow.
So, Dr. G, what is the one health challenge that you have been avoiding for the last 2 years?
Weight.
Weight is not a challenge.
Okay. Blood pressure.
Aha. Now, is blood pressure a disease?
No, everybody has blood pressure, but it's the
Right. Blood pressure is not a disease.
High
It's a condition that, if unchecked for 5 years, will cause a disease. Is diabetes a disease?
No.
No, it is not a disease. It's a condition that, if unchecked for 5 years, will cause liver, spleen, and kidney failure. So diabetes and high blood pressure are not diseases, they're conditions. Osteoporosis and osteopenia, which is bone thinning, are conditions that can be reversed. If you have high blood pressure, I don't care if you've been taking it for 20 years, if you've been taking medication for diabetes or medication for high blood pressure for 20 years, in 90 days, I will get you off. And you will feel better than you have ever felt in your entire life.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the choice.
I stopped on my own. I just stopped. Maybe that wasn't good, but I felt 6 months ago, it's like, I'm not taking this stuff anymore. And I stopped. I feel better.
What did you do to replace it?
Well, right now I'm doing something, but immediately.
You didn't do anything to replace it.
Initially, what I did, I started doing yoga at the time. I still do yoga, but I started doing yoga, and I was doing yoga, especially during the summer months, and we were outside doing it outside, and I was there 2-3 times a week, and that's what I started. So that's where I started to learn how to do the breathing, change my, from the shallow breathing to the deep breathing and so forth. So I'm comfortable with breathing now.
Okay, now, was yoga fun?
It was challenging, but the reason why it was fun, it was sort of fun because it was we formed a group. We call ourselves the God Squad, and that's why it was, because it was a group of us, and we were bonding.
Right. So it's the group, and this is a nice group. I'm getting a good feeling from the chat and people who are here. I'm getting a really good feeling. This is a good group. And I think if you guys come to the first 2 retreats, it will make a significant upgrade in your life. What do you think, Dr. Khalik?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Western medicine is a mechanical methodology, which takes us further and further away from the divine laws of nature and natural living. So we have to get back into the holistic phenomenon, which is through Qigong, which is through eating, juice feasting, getting rid of all the poisons, because as you stated before, everything in the commercial market has been contaminated by many different chemicals, petrochemicals, textiles, dyes, all the things that injure the liver, spleen, heart, lung, and compromising neurotransmitter activity. This is why people are so out of balance. They're so disconnected, because the food that you consume has chemical messengers. They have frequency. So when you're consuming anything, I don't care even if you're vegan, if you're consuming overly processed vegan food, you're not going to benefit from that. You have to eat live food, and the people that are consuming animal protein, if you're going to consume animal protein, get it directly from a farm. When you're consuming animal protein from a fast food restaurant, you're not only eating a dead process or a dead substance, but you're taking on the abuse that animal endured during its growth and development process along going through the slaughter. So this is why we are spiritually have been spiritually compromised, because we're taking despiritualized food, which is evil. This is devilment. And so the only way that we're going to elevate and get closer to universal law, balance, love, strength, becoming a fearless people, we have to get back into nature. If, as I've always stated, if it does not contain life, it cannot give life. That includes medication, because it contains a molecular structure that's not found in nature.
Yeah. So, Dr. Love, you have a product, and I don't know, Sister Deborah and I talked about this, that actually, because a lot of people have, you look and you see people with cankles, I call them cankles. And there was a time, with the swollen ankles and so forth. You have a product and process for, is that a blockage of the lymph when people are experiencing, no, bring it back the other way. Turn it around a little bit so we can see. We'll look at the back of it. We see the back. Well, okay. So that's the product that'll help move the fluid, or is it the lymph or whatever?
This is the product that'll take the fluid off your cankles.
Off your cankles. Yeah, I mean, you see it so much. I mean, and I tend to see more of swelling when it's hot for some reason, and when the weather's hot, and then when the weather is no longer hot, then it subsides. But I've been experiencing that for years and years, just the swollen, not a really bad cankle, but I've seen some bad cankles. And so for you to have a product that addresses that.
Okay, so now let me ask you a silly question. Suppose it rains really hard one day a week for like an hour. It's like really stormy. And then what if the following year it rains a little bit all day long for months and months and months? Which one is a worse condition?
I would say a little bit all day, every day. That one, the second one.
So when you say, "Oh, it hasn't swollen really, really, really bad," but that is more dangerous condition. And those cankles or swollen ankles lead to congestive heart disease, which then becomes congestive heart failure, which then leads to premature death.
So it's a circulatory issue.
It's a lymphatic issue.
Lymphatic. Okay.
And it's a kidney issue. Okay? So if there's 12 things that are important for your health, and you take care of 11 of them and ignore one, which one is going to bite you in the butt?
The one you ignore.
Okay. So you cannot ignore any aspect of your health. You can't do it. You can't ignore sleep. You can't ignore meditation. You can't ignore your sexual energy. You can't ignore the time of day you eat. You can't ignore the amount of food you eat. You cannot ignore whether you drink water or tea or juice. You cannot ignore any aspect of your health. because 10 years from now, you're going to have lion teeth in your water buffalo butt.
Okay, listen, let me back up. You just said something that piqued my interest. Not that the whole thing wasn't interesting, but you said you cannot ignore your sexual energy. What do you mean by that?
Okay, now we have hormones. Dr. G, what is the purpose of hormones?
To regulate maybe your moods and your your ebb and your flow. I mean, your hormones, they balance you out, or they take you off the chart or put you
Okay, you don't know anything about hormones because you were not taught anything about hormones.
No, I was not, because I didn't go through the change of life or anything like that. So
okay, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is we are human beings. We are male and we have female, and we have male hormones and we have female hormones, and we were not taught anything about them.
True.
Not in high school, not in college, not in natural hygiene, not in sex education class, not in church. We weren't taught anything about our hormones. Why not? Because they don't know anything about the hormones. You can't teach what you don't know.
True.
Okay? Now, when you go through puberty, what happens to your areola?
Do they get hard? I don't know. Do they?
Yes, they get hard. They swell. And when you have your first period, your birth chamber fills up with blood.
Right.
And then that blood has to come out through your birth canal.
Birth canal, yeah.
Aha. Okay. So that is a natural process. So when we talk about the reproductive system, we're talking about 2 ovaries, we're talking about 2 fallopian tubes, we're talking about the birth chamber and the birth canal. That's the entire reproductive system. And it only works through hormones. Okay. It only works through, it doesn't work by itself. It needs hormones. So if you don't know, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, thyroid stimulating hormone, melanin stimulating hormone, if you don't understand the 9 hormones, how can you self-regulate? You cannot. And sex, regular sex, 2-3 times a week is how we self-regulate the hormones.
So you're saying that if a person does not, say a person says I'm celibate, I'm not in a relationship, so I'm just gonna be celibate. So if a person's not having sex or let me add a caveat, or doing something to stimulate themselves, no, the real deal.
Stimulating yourself is not sex.
I'm asking because I'm thinking if they're
okay. So I'm about to tell you now. Some devices have a built-in battery. Other devices have to be charged.
Okay.
Your device has to be charged by another person.
Okay.
You can't charge it yourself. Now, the point of celibacy has nothing to do with sex. Celibacy is a commitment to the service of God. Okay. It's not no sex. It's no marriage. Because of the Catholic Church, because of their sexual proclivities, which you can read about on Google, you will find out that there was a backlash to the hypersexuality of popes and bishops in Roman Catholicism. And I'm going to repeat it again. Celibacy has nothing to do with sex. Celibacy is a commitment to the service of God. Okay, are we all clear on that? Does anybody want to argue with me on that? Okay. Now, a woman wants to reproduce herself. Yes or no?
Yes.
So she had to have a baby to do that. A man wants to plant his seeds in as many different fields as possible because he wants to reproduce himself. And he doesn't know whether this field is fertile. He doesn't know which field has the best fertility. So he's going to try to plant his seeds in as many different fields. And the woman's job is to hold on to the seed planter for at least 10 years until the child is old enough so where it can take care of itself. So the point of sex is to keep the family unit. That is the point of sex. And that is why the creator created the hormones, because if you don't have that hormonal flow, guess what happens to your bones? Guess what happens to your muscles?
Atrophy.
Guess what happens to your beauty?
It fades.
It fades.
Wow.
And you can't use an electronic device. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Not for the purpose of what we are speaking about. Okay.
Well, I guess I always thought that at some point, there's just a need for the release that comes with it, but you're saying it's something else other than the release. The
release is a wonderful, delicious thing, and we call it recreational. We recreate the Holy Spirit that created us.
But when you're past childbearing age,
okay.
What's the
so if you're past the childbearing, okay. So let me break this down. The first reason for sex is procreation. The second reason for sex is recreation. The third reason for sex is sexual healing. The fourth reason for sex is sacred sex. Now, which one do you want to have the experience of?
Oh, you asking me, or you just putting it out there?
I'm asking you, which one do you want to experience? Sacred sex, sexual healing.
At 67, I'm not procreating. I'm definitely not procreating.
Okay, so that leaves the other three. Which one do you want to experience?
I only get to choose one.
You've already had recreational sex.
Of course.
But you've not had sexual healing or sacred sex.
I would say healing, if that's and then ultimately sacred.
And then later on sacred. Okay.
Yeah,
Deborah, which one do you want to experience?
Both.
Okay. Now, do you think you're going to learn that from a book?
No.
Do you think you're going to learn that from a documentary? Or do you think you're going to learn that in a weekend retreat with somebody with 47 years experience?
Weekend retreat with 47 years experience.
Okay. So the issue is your hormones are whacked out, Dr. G, and I'm going to teach you how to get your hormones back in balance. And that's why you need sexual healing.
Wow. Wow. So we're all messed up. It's not just me. It's
not just you.
Not just
it's
me.
not just you. So they did a survey in 2018, and they found out 50% of all of the people in America are not having regular sex. 50%. Now, from my way of thinking, that's osteoporosis, osteopenia, sarcopenia, which is muscle wasting, anxiety, man or woman not having a person to relate to emotionally creates anxiety. So if we're saying mental illness is a big deal and 40% of the population has anxiety and depression, lack of sex is one of the top reasons. So when I went to acupuncture school, we had to write a report on the function of the orgasm. That was a topic in acupuncture school. So sexual energy healing was part of my training. But it's not taught. It's not talked about. Your doctor doesn't say to your husband, oh, how many times a week are you getting it? That topic never comes up. Thank you.
Well, you know, you're 28 years older than you said your wife, so you must know, you must have the secrets.
I must know something to keep her happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, some people get to the place where, you know, it doesn't even matter anymore, you know, except every now and then.
Short story, I go to London. This is about detox. And I say, would you rather go 3 days without food or 3 days without sex? And guess what the Londoners told me?
Food. They'd rather go 3 days without food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I came to Miami and I asked the same question, and they said, I've already been 3 years without sex. I'm not going 1 day without food.
Which is why most people overweight.
But there's a comment here. Yeah. There's a question.
Well, that's why I said what I do is fun. That's why I told you what I teach is fun. I'm not dead serious with a lot of heavy energy because nobody's going to listen to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't talk about that we are not, we don't feel free to talk about. And there are, you know, people who live in situations where either they are single or they're not single, but they might be in a household where they're single in the house, so they're not, you know. So there's lots of things, and then people are afraid to go out, you know, they don't want to, you know, they're afraid of folks that have done this and done that. They're not even looking down.
I totally understand that. But this is what we need to understand. No man is an island. You cannot advance in your life unless you have a team. And the word family is an acronym. Female activated mission in loving you. That's what a family is. So your mother loved you and your sister. So now you have to figure out how to create a female-oriented family. And then as a group, you have to figure out how to bring a man into the circle and educate him on proper communication. And when that happens, then sex will naturally follow. But before we can talk about sex, we have to trust each other. We have to like each other. We have to be honest with each other. And we have to talk to each other. And if we don't have that skill set in our girlfriends, how are we going to have that with a guy?
Right. Because I wasn't sure what you were saying when you said the sisters come together and then bring a guy in. I was wondering, was he servicing everybody or was he just?
Okay, see where your mind goes. That's where your mind went. You went to the gutter.
I didn't mean to, but
I didn't go to the gutter. You went to the gutter.
I was like, one guy. Okay.
So
That's the
I tell
commercial
people,
indoctrination. That's the commercial
thinking about
indoctrination.
you have to learn how to communicate.
Okay.
But way before we get to sex, like a year before we get to sex, 9 months before we get to sex, we have to learn how to talk to each other. We have to learn how to make each other feel good. We have to learn how to trust each other. And after all that, then we can talk about sex. Okay? The older we get, women over 45 don't trust men at all. And that's understandable. Totally understandable. Because men don't trust women either. So how do we get back to trust?
I don't know.
Exactly.
No, I'm looking at, I want you to look at some of these questions. I want to ask them.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
I'm going to address some of them because we just kicked up something. I'm sure there's a lot.
Okay. All right. So whoever said, asked me about semen retention. Is that a guy or a girl?
I don't know.
Game face. Is that a guy or a girl?
I have no idea. I have to say, I would assume it's a guy retaining his. I would hope that's
okay.
But I don't know.
So I want that person to explain to me what semen retention is. Because a lot of guys tell me that semen retention is not having sex, not ejaculating, and not masturbating. That's what guys tell me. And I'm like, where did you read that? What book? What course? What sexology teacher told you that? Semen retention is having sex and not ejaculating. That's what semen retention is.
Absolutely.
Is having sex and not ejaculating. But that's a whole course. That's a 3-month course. Semen retention, 3-month course. So that's down the line. Right now, we have to learn better communication skills. Now, food and sex are necessary. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Food is necessary. All right. Food is necessary. Now, what if you cooked food? What if a guy cooked food for you instead of you cooking food for a guy? How would that make you feel?
Really good. Like pampered.
Thank you. Now, I teach cooking. My wife is a good cook, but she said, in the grand scheme of things, you're better in the kitchen. I'm gonna let you have that. Now, if I need her to cook, she can jump in, she can burn, okay? But she said, I'm gonna let you have that. And my point is, I can teach guys how to cook in a way that'll make women feel good. And there's the conversation.
Yeah.
Food and sex kind of go together energetically.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
The oneness.
Okay. So food first, conversation, comfort, then trust. Okay? So women have said to me, you said I should have sex 3 times a week. Where am I going to find a guy? That's not my problem. Finding a guy is not my problem. That's your problem. If you don't know how to communicate and attract, my cousin is the exact same age as I am. She is 10 days older. Her husband died. Within 90 days, she had a boyfriend. Same age as me. That relationship lasted 5 years. Within 90 days, she had another boyfriend. And I'm like, yo, cuz, what are you doing? She said, I go to church on Sunday. I don't go to club. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't play cards. But I know how to talk and I know how to walk. And they come like bees to the honey. So my cousin has no problem getting a guy. So I don't know. So all these women complaining, that's not my problem. You need to learn how to communicate better. Okay? And if you want me to teach you, I'll teach you that too. I'll teach you how to walk. Because most women fall forward. They don't walk. They don't walk here, so they like kind of fall forward. Am I right, colleague? We've talked about this, watching the girls walk down the beach.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Not only you come to this retreat and get, your exercise, but you get your sex exercise, your sex education, you get your persona correct. I mean, and I heard, of course, I heard from Dr. Botanica, that you are an excellent chef. And he raves about this pesto that he said.
It's delicious.
You had some.
I had some.
Dr. Love is he is a master chef. I mean, he's a master chef. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, there's a couple of YouTubes, and I mean, just the joy of watching him prepare. But that comes from years of experience, and he actually puts the essence into cooking. A lot of people just throw stuff together. It's literally a art, and he is the master of that art.
Deborah, how'd you get some pesto?
Dr. Love.
I froze it and I shipped it overnight.
And
I'm going to order some because I heard it was so good. Dr. Botanica said that he was eating. He ate so much, and you didn't expect him to eat as much. He was eating it up. But
when I was down there, I ate up all the pesto.
He raved about your pesto.
I was so annoyed at him for eating all the pesto. So I had a student who drove from Atlanta with his wife and his son, drove all the way to learn how to make the pesto. So I taught a special class on how to make the pesto. He went back to Atlanta and sent me a video. He made a pound of 6 different kinds of pesto.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, how are you going to eat all that? He said, I don't know, but I'm going to try.
You mean he made 6 pounds, or he made a pound that was made of?
No, we made cashew collard green. We made sunflower kale. We made basil pumpkin seed. We did spinach walnut. We did almond arugula. And we did parsley pistachio.
Wow.
And he made a pound of each one.
Oh, gosh.
So he's got these big Tupperware containers of 7 kinds of pesto. He was so proud of himself. Sent me a video that he had done all this. And I was like, wow, brother, that's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, food is they say a way to, they say a man's heart is through his stomach, but
what's the way to a woman's heart?
I want to say what I always love is romance. I'm a romantic. I like romance. I like the romance. I like the leading up to I like romance, whatever you call that. I
got you. Deborah, what do you call what's the way to a woman's heart?
Being romantic. Same thing.
Romance. Okay.
I like the foreplay. You know, I like the foreplay.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that right
Okay.
there.
Okay. The way to a woman's heart is to see her value, to trust her judgment, and to always hold her in the highest light. That is the way to a woman's heart. What you both described is prelude to sex.
Is that what it is?
Romance is the way to sex, but the way to her heart is to give her value, to trust her judgment, and to always hold her in the highest light. That is the way to a woman's heart.
Well, a woman, the woman that I am, I've never met men over my entire life, and I'm going to say this publicly. I have to say it. It's just the truth. I've never met a man that could do more for me than I could do for myself, and that has always.
And that's the reason why you're alone.
I'm not alone, but I'm not alone. That's just telling you the truth. You know what I mean? I'm not alone. It's just that I tend to be the, I'm always. I'm not going to say to. I'm always picking up the, attracting the ones that they probably do value what I bring, but I don't, to the point where they don't feel like they have to add to it. I like that. There's a song that what's her name? Lettucey sings called "Can You Add to Me?" Can you add to me? And I think a woman always wants, and probably men too. Men don't want a woman that would want them just because of they have, and they don't think that they have to contribute to it. But more and more, I think women tend to, settle and say, okay, it's just be here. But we long for someone that'll say, oh, look, I thought of you today and I bought you this, or I, or sent you some kind of lovely sentiment as a message or something. But, really you want to feel like if you were in a pinch, that they had your back. And I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. And that's the part that's
okay. So we need to have a private conversation, because you're a very special lady. You're not run of the mill ordinary. So we'll deal with that privately.
okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
now
So you just bringing out the truth in me. Doggone it.
I am.
You got some truth serum flowing here. I'm looking at Deborah. Deborah, you are so beautiful. I am
Isn't she glowing?
I don't know how much I
glowing.
love this sister,
Yes.
and how much I love her, how much I love you. And I'm looking at you, and you are just such. I'm almost at tears. I mean, you're glowing, and I know you. And I'm so proud of you. And now you become my inspiration. Doggone it. Wipe my eyes.
I don't mind too.
Anyway,
You're always mine.
But
You are my
you know,
inspiration.
well, you know what I mean. That's we go back. You know what I mean. We go back 21 years, and it's just beautiful to see how when you decide to put you first. When you decide to put yourself first, gosh, look what can happen. Look what's happening. I am so proud of you. Y'all probably think I'm crazy, but I'm just being honest.
That's beautiful. So now let's talk about love for a second.
Sure.
Because we use that word a lot. We sling. I love my plants. I love my dog. I love my coat. I love my car. I love my house. But do you love yourself? Because if you don't love you, you can't love another.
True.
Exactly.
And you have to be taught how to love yourself. Because if your parents didn't teach you, you're never going to know. There's no book called How to Love Yourself. So my last name is Love. I didn't feel love from my parents. Both my parents were school teachers, and they were very active in the community. They were active in church. People loved my father. They looked up to my father. They loved my. They were always bringing presents to the house, but I didn't feel love from them. So maybe it was my childlike mind. I don't know what it was, but I didn't feel love. So I left Philadelphia and moved to New York. And I found a couple in the grocery store, and they were shopping together, and they were reading the label, and they were talking to each other, and they were holding each other while they were walking through the grocery store. And I just walked up to them and I said, "Excuse me, can you adopt me? Do you have any children? Because this is the love that I've been looking for my whole life." I was 25 years old at the time, and they were 45. And they like, "Do you play bid whist?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Come over our house Saturday night and we'll play some bid whist and we'll get to know each other." And they surely adopted me. And I hung out with at their house, and I met all these beautiful couples that I didn't know knew how to interact, because my parents were like this with each other. They were friendly and loving to their friends, but not to each other. So I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how to explain it. And now I do know how to explain it, and I can teach it. I can demonstrate it. So when we talk about love and true love and soulmate, all that, I can explain all that to you. But love of self has to come first before love of another.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just
Okay?
like when you're on a plane and they say, if the cabin pressure, if the plane loses cabin pressure, before you try to put it on, your child or somebody, first put your own oxygen mask on. And that's the same thing with love. First you, because if you don't get it right with you, you can't get it right for anyone else or with anyone else. And I thoroughly agree that. I posted something just the other day on Facebook, because I see myself personally, I grew up not loving myself because I felt like, I'll just be honest with you, the pretty, our values what we value, fair skin, long hair, slender girls, and all this. They were the cheerleader types and all that. They got all the attention, they got all the guys, they got all the praise, and they didn't have to do much for it. And then I felt like people like myself, I struggled. I feel like I didn't like what I looked like. I didn't like a whole lot of things. And so I did things to add to it. I wore wigs, and I just wasn't totally myself. But as I have grown older, and especially in the last 8 to 10 years, because I'm almost 67. But when I turned 60, maybe that's when it was. When I was 59, I started coming out of that, and I started loving me. And it seems like now, when I look back, I'm more youthful at this age than I was 15, 20 years ago. I love myself better. I love what, like Lever said, I love what I'm becoming. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. And so we are not taught that. We're taught all kinds of imagery that we're supposed to compare ourselves to. And we have, somebody mentioned in there about fairy tales. We see love on the movies, and then they don't even show that much anymore. We used to see all these romantic movies back in the day. Now it's like hardcore, what going on. And so, but whatever we thought our ideal was of love, we weren't taught how to really make it real, really, because like you said, the Cleavers and all those folks, the Beavers family, that we didn't have those, in real life.
The system of social engineering had implemented a system to separate us from the essence of love, and so this is why there's so much self-destruction in society today, because they have did a phenomenal job in creating a more mechanical society and separating us again from universal law and self-love. And so you have people, you see the news every day. They're doing things haphazardly. There's so many, forms of, injury, fatalities. This is because they have done an outstanding job in separating us from the essence of oneness, and we have to get back into that oneness. And again, as Dr. Love emphasized, we say we love this and love that, but do we actually feel the essence of love? You have to, it's all about the feeling. And so, for example, not Hippocrates, but Plato, for example, one of the great philosophers or so-called great philosophers, put an emphasis on being objective. And he also put an emphasis on how Europeans can imperialize the world. And in order to imperialize the world, he put an emphasis, you have to separate yourself from everything in it and look at it as a thing, and you have to take the feeling out. And so this is what the society has done. They have taken the feeling out of being human, to be loved, or to project love. We're in a very, very mechanical matrix. And the only way we're going to evolve from that, and again, as we stated, this whole show is about why the world needs Qigong. This is going to bring that self-love, because you're going to be delivered back to nature. You're going to look at all the things surrounding you when you're on the beach doing Qigong, and you're going to start to love yourself, and you're going to pull away from that mechanical world and realize all the materialism doesn't matter. So this is where we need to be. And this show is extremely instrumental to the people, because again, most people have lost or even never achieved the feeling. Just like most people have never consumed real food. They've consumed processed material or bulk matter. So there's a lot of work to be done, but you have to get into the feeling of what love is really about.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It is so interesting. Dr. Love, there's a question about I think Jasmine put in a couple times. She says some would want you to address it. She asked about, let me pull it back up. You might see it before me, but it's something about being. Oh, Jasmine, where's your question? No, that's something about when you said if you're not having. Oh, here we go. So, am I in denial if I do not feel I need sexual healing?
Okay, so the question is, you can't feel if you need something. That's why you go to a doctor to take a test. Keep going.
So
you need to go to a doctor to take a test. So how are you going to know that you need sexual healing unless you make an appointment and find out? Right? You can't feel it. There's no symptoms of cancer that you can feel. There are no symptoms of heart disease that you can feel. There's no symptoms of diabetes that you can feel. So if you can't feel cancer, diabetes, heart disease, how are you going to feel that you need sexual healing?
So one may not need it.
Unless you... Now, the better question is, how do you know if you need sexual healing? That would have been a much better question.
Well, how do you know?
Okay. Now, as we age, the first organ that goes out of balance is the kidneys. Now, silly question. If your kidneys are injured by fear, and I think somebody already spoke to that. What's her name? Where's her? Wow, we got a lot of people chiming in. Tanya Alim Abe, if the kidneys are injured by fear,
I think that's a man.
what happens physiologically? Okay, so you don't have to guess. When a little kid is scared, what does he do in his pants?
Pee in his
What's
pants.
his name?
He pees in his pants. And when an adult is scared, what do they do in their pants?
They poop
Crap in their pants.
They poo in their pants. So when you are operating from fear, your urogenital system shuts down. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Yes.
Your kidney energy is your sexual energy. The kidneys are the root of sexual energy. So therefore, if fear is killing your kidney energy, it's also killing your sexual energy.
And that makes me
Fear
think-
and love cannot exist at the same time.
that makes me think about all of the people who are suffering from kidney issues and all these dialysis centers every corner, as if to create something that will again get rid of that sexual and that reproductive. Wow, I never.
Exactly. Now, if you're a guy and you're taking high blood pressure medication for more than 90 days, guess what happens to your libido?
Damn.
And if you're taking diabetic medication for more than 90 days, what happens to your libido?
So if you're taking them both.
Right. Now, which group of people in the United States has the greatest amount of high blood pressure?
Melanated folk, us.
And which group of people has the most high blood pressure?
Us
And which group of people has the most diabetes?
We.
And now you understand that even if you're married, you may not be having good sexual energy. You could love your wife, you could love your husband, and still not be doing it in a way that elevates their Holy Spirit. And that's when you need sexual healing. Okay? So to me, it's not complicated, but it takes a while for it to like download into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So for a man, there at the base of the penis, there is a muscle that holds the blood, but the brain has to direct the blood to the penis. And it's stored there until an erection is desired. Now, men over 50, their sex drive literally goes down. Their testosterone levels go down. So men over 50 are not going to hit it the way they did when they were 30. Now, 100 years ago, women's sex drive went up after 50 because they didn't have to go to work. And at 50, their kids are grown and out of the house. So now the sex drive goes up. But in today's world, women's sex drive over 50 is also going down. So if the man's drive is going down, the woman's drive is going down. Whoa, what's happening with the sex?
Adrenal exhaustion.
It ain't happening. Even if you have a willing partner, still not happening. So that is why you need sexual healing. Okay, does everybody follow me?
Right. So we're not talking about Marvin Gaye's sexual healing. We're talking about something else, right? We're talking about different. Because Marvin said sex was the healing, but you're saying your healing needs to sexual.
That's kind of boring.
I just want to clarify that for you guys. Don't go on Marvin and think that you fixed it.
Okay, So since you brought up Marvin, I think I need to tell the story. Marvin Gaye was extremely shy and did not do public appearances. Marvin Gaye was president of Motown for 15 years. And all he did was run the business, run the business, run the business. And then he married a girl 25 years younger than him. And they went on a world tour, around the world in 90 days. He did that on the honeymoon. And when he came back, all his shyness went away. And he started performing again after 15 years of not performing. That's sexual healing, and that's exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. But I'm not, but I'm just saying, when he also had a freaky wife, his first one was kind of freaky. It's Stuart. Yeah,
Because you were there.
No, I mean, no, I looked at Ashley Say So, and Ashley Say So did an expose on him, and that Gordy wife was a wild child.
Okay. You telling tales out of school. Okay.
Anyway, but all of this is, but you know what? We're not getting off track because all of this ties in, though. When I'm pretty sure, like the mind, body, spirit connection, everything. You can't leave one thing off and say, "Oh, now we're fixed." If one thing if there's an issue in one area, it ultimately affects.
It affects another area. Exactly.
Area. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I said there's 5 separate areas. There's movement, there's food, there's energy, there's emotions, and there's spirituality. And we need to work on all 5.
And we have some that are asking about how they could sign up or what the link is for the retreat. I'm sure now the retreat, we didn't have all this conversation. Okay. You probably have to make room for like 100 people. Say like, yes, I need to get there. But
so I'm going to suggest that everybody just text me 561.
I'm gonna put it in here.
Put it in the chat. 561 502 6200.
I'm looking creative there. Okay, so text Dr. Love.
And I need your email and your phone number when you text me. And then I'll be able to send you the invite. Now, I sent all the pertinent information to Dr. Khalik. So if some weird chance you can't get to me, you can also call Dr. Khalik. But I'm going to tell you what is exactly going to happen at the retreat. So Friday night is meet and greet. And we're going to be teaching from 7 to 9 Friday night. And we're going to talk about all the things that you bring to the retreat, what your goals, what your expectations are. And then we're going to talk about why we need to fast on a regular basis. And then on Saturday, we're going to get up and we're going to start with Qigong. And then we're going to juice. And then we're going to have a class on musculoskeletal healing and neuroendocrine system, how they work together. Then we're going to have another class where we're going to actually diagnose your musculoskeletal structure. And we're going to teach you how to walk. And we're going to teach you how to read energy. Then we're going to take a break for lunch. And then after lunch, we're going to come back and we're going to do face and tongue diagnosis. And then we're going to take another break, and you have the option of getting massage or acupuncture from me or my staff. And then we do a dinner break of raw food, and then after dinner we go to the beach for drumming and dancing.
Is that
Sound
day
like a
one?
plan?
Was that day one or day 1 and 2?
That's Saturday.
Oh, that's Saturday. Okay.
That's Saturday. And then Sunday we get up and we're going to do Qigong for breakfast. We're going to follow that by juice. And then we're going to have another class about your hormones and how Qigong benefits your hormones. And then we'll talk about how to do hormone testing. And Dr. Khalik will be involved with the hormone testing.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Okay. And since Sunday is Easter, we're going to try to wrap it up by 2:00 for those people who feel obligated to be somewhere. But I don't think this group is an Easter group. So, and then we'll do Q&A, and then there'll be a manual, and you will actually learn how to create a self-healing program.
Okay.
And that's the retreat.
All right. And that's retreat 1, because you said there's a series of 5 over the course of the year.
Right.
4 or 5?
5.
5. Okay. Yeah. So, and in honor of the fact that you are in Florida, I just wanted to point out the fact to them and to everyone that I am at the beach already in preparation for April. So that's why.
Yeah. And yeah, April.
The beach. I'm at the beach now.
Right. We're going to be at the beach.
Yeah. So, so actually, that's So somebody said that it's going to happen around the New Year, the real New Year.
The real New Year.
The real New Year.
Equinox.
Yeah, the equinox. So, just before the equinox. So it'll be after it. I'm sorry, after
It's the
right
first full moon
after
the lunar moon after the equinox.
Okay.
It's all tied into astrology. And it will be held in.
Go ahead.
Say again?
Where will it be held? What part of Florida?
Boca Raton, Florida.
Boca.
It's halfway between West Palm and Fort Lauderdale. So you can fly into either airport, West Palm Beach Airport or Fort Lauderdale, and we're right in the middle. We're 30 minutes from each airport.
Or if you're close by, you might even be able to drive there.
Or the train, or the Amtrak.
Travel there by your own vessel or Amtrak.
Well, all that details will be on the website.
Yes.
And the website is being updated as we speak with the new dates, but it's transformationretreats.com. But I'll give you all that. That's why I said text me. So by the time the website should be finished in the next 2 or 3 days, you'll get the website.
So I've got that there. They see it. It's at the bottom, so they can. It's not scrolling. It's there. They can write your number down. Hopefully, they're doing this. Okay. I just think this has been amazing. We have a video queued up of one of your of the rap video, the rap song that you wrote. And can we?
Is it a rap song? You said so.
Isn't that the one where you're rapping and stuff?
Pick up. What's his name? Dr. Sean.
I can see it right here. It looks like the one where you're in the street. Is that and talking about why isn't that a rap song?
Have you seen it before?
I think I did, but I see it right here. We got it queued up here to share.
Okay. If it's queued up,
but you have
are you in control or am I in control?
No, you're in control. I'm adding it to the stream right now.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, those two, yeah, there we go. Right here.
This is why I'm hot, cause I do Qigong. This is why you're not, cause you are not strong. strong, cause I do Qigong. You're weak, cause you get no sleep. I'm strong, cause I do Qigong. You're weak, cause you do not breathe. If you love your lungs will love your heart. When you love your lungs, your chi will start. When you do your breathing, your chi starts to flow. Cultivate your chi and your energy grows. When you plant your chi, your energy starts to flow. Cultivate your chi and your energy grows. Breathe deep, and when you breathe long, then you get Qigong. When you breathe deep, when you breathe long, then you get Qigong. When you love your kidneys love your back. Drinking and no thinking, how you feeling about that? Smoking and no dance interrupts your yang energy. Drinking and no thinking makes you not sexy. When you love your kidneys, your chi starts to flow. Cultivate your chi and your energy grows. I'm strong cause I do Qigong. You're weak cause you do not breathe. I'm strong cause I do Qigong. You're weak cause you do not breathe. Do the Qigong bounce, arms out to the side. Bounce to bounce to bounce to bounce. Let the Qi go out. Do the Qigong bump, hips side to side. Let the Qi flow. Now let it glide. Do the Qigong boogie. Go in a circle. Spin like a hula hoop. Spin like a hula hoop. Now, pick up the bucket, throw out the water. Pick up the bucket, throw out the water. Pick up the bucket, throw out the water. Qigong, spin, spin to the left, spin to the left, spin to the left. Spin to the right, spin to the right, spin to the right, spin to the right. Now heart wave, put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Heart wave, Qigong. Now do the lung swim, out, around, around. Do the Qigong lung swim. Swing your shoulders opposite direction. Left, up, right, down. Left, up, right, down. Left, up, right, down. Left, up, right, down. Now, reverse.
Okay, is that a rap song?
Oh, is it still playing?
Teacups.
This is why I'm hot, cause I do Qigong. This is why you're not, cause you are not strong.
So, Dr. G,
Yes.
what do you think?
I'm strong, cause I do
What I think, I like it. I like it. I like it. Go, Dr. Love. You see me? I was up here doing he's pulling his cups up and stuff.
His Qi cups. He's got the Qi cups. Deborah, where's your Qi cups?
Upstairs in my room with my
I got my teacups. I got my teacups.
Okay.
I got my teacups. I got my teacups.
Right.
I got my tea thingies.
All right.
I got this thing right here.
Oh, you got that too. Okay. So you got to use that on your spine every night, Dr. G.
And these things.
Oh, yes. She's
I
got
got
all
my
her
teacups. I got my teacups.
Okay.
Yes.
For you back.
So,
Okay.
Dr. Love, I got a text and it said that I could join. It was like a 50% off or something for the classes, and I tried to click on the link and it didn't take me where I was, and I meant to call you because it was like a week and a half or two ago. And I was like, well, it won't let me order right. It wouldn't let me sign up on from that link. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And if you do it in the next 20 minutes, I have somebody that'll help you. So Hank, let's terminate this and get you back on the sign up sheet.
Well, we got 4 minutes. We're getting ready to go.
We got 4 minutes. Okay.
We got 4 minutes to go. I can go out with my. We have the Chumberry commercial, but this has been amazing. I actually feel like we ought to do this again. I think this has been very. Don't you think? I think it's been very informative. I think this is fun. I love the way you teach. I love the inspiration that you give to those of us that are getting older. You know what I mean? Because look, all your youthfulness at 72. So I mean, if you sitting there and you like a bump on a lug and you're 35, then shame on you. So this has been very motivating, I believe, and we got into some really kind of heavy topics. You know what I mean? So the fact that you can address them is very, very good because you have the expertise and you have clinical background and so forth to deal with these things, and you're dealing with them in a straightforward manner. And we're not skirting the issue. The issue is it is what it is, and we need to we haven't been taught to do those things correctly, and so we've been fumbling through and not coming up with good results. But it's never too late. It sounds like
it's never too late
until it's too late.
Someone said, I need this song in my life. Where can I find it? Is that on YouTube? Or
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what
it's called This Is Why I Do Qigong.
Okay, so you hear that? It's called This Is Why I Do Qigong. You look for that on
by Dr. Love. Make sure you put Dr. Love in there because there's a bunch of other people.
This is why I
there's a bunch of other people teaching Qigong. Not from our perspective.
Qigong.
So yes, Paula Eel, Dr. G is going to all of the retreats.
Oh,
and
yeah, look on YouTube for Paula Eel. I will definitely be at the very first one. Let's put that. He said I'll be at all of them, but I'll be at the first one. That's my start, and I'm gonna try to. Because I think the next one is the next month, right? Is it the following month? Are they 5 months in a row? No, they're going to be on the equinox, and the solstices.
The full moon.
Full moon. Is it 5 successive months, or is
it's 5 months in a row? 5 months in a row, yeah.
So get your coins together, y'all, or move down to Florida or something. But yeah, pull up the video. This Is Why I Do Qigong by Dr. Love. Look for it on YouTube. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did too. I did too. So listen, thank you so very, very much. Share this video, y'all. We kind of low. We only had about 100 looks like maybe 120 folks or so on between whatever, but you know how this is the day after, then everybody looks at it because they don't get to see it live. But share this, share it, look at it again, press like, check out Dr. Love Qigong, or is it Qigong Dr. Love on YouTube? But there is a private class that you can sign up for that he has.
And that is, the private class is Blue Dragon Qigong.org.
I think I did that banner for that.
Blue Dragon QIGONG.org. Deborah Smith, Dennis Smith wants to know, are you going to the retreat?
Yes, I am. Yes, we are. We are.
I think Dennis wants to go.
Yeah.
He's just double checking.
Shouting upstairs the whole time. When he heard Dr. Love, when you said about what a woman's work, he was like, "Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I heard him." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." So
That's great.
That's good. That's good. I'm trying to see what I did with that. Here we go.
So I want to thank everybody who chimed in with comments and questions. I really appreciate you all because I can't share. If you don't answer questions, I can't share the knowledge. So I'm really happy that you did ask the questions.
Oh.
And the number again, for those who missed it, it's 561-502-6200. And just text me and we'll send you the email for the retreat. And then when the website is finished, we'll get you the website. But if you want to make an appointment to see me, it's DrQILOVE, drqilove.com.
Oh, but anyway, I want to say thank you, Dr. Botanica, for your input. Thank you, Sister Deborah, for your input and sharing your testimony, because you're one of the ones that you're on faithful almost every week. You're here in the chat like everybody else, but I knew when I saw you, I was like, oh my goodness. And she was trying to show me how to do the lymphatic swing and telling me about the rocking like Wimpy used to rock when he was on the corner. I was like, I couldn't get that rock together, but I'm sure I'm gonna get it when I get on the beach. I'll get it right for the lymphatic swing. But any last comments, Dr. Love, before we close?
I just wanna share the love with everyone, and hope I see you all in April. April 15, 16, and 17.
Okay. Well, I thank you. And we're going to go out. I saved my little commercial for last.
This will be the wisest investment for 2022.
Yes.
It's going to change your life. It will actually change your life. My wife came to this same retreat, and she never left.
Wow. Okay. So she became your wife, right? Okay. All right. Then, well, Deborah, again, thank you, Dr. Love. Thank you so much. Thank you for, I'm sure there's a bunch you're going to, check out, the classes. I'm going to call you when we log off so I can get signed up.
So you can get connected. Yeah, sure.
Yes, I certainly will.
So now everyone knows why the world needs Qigong now.
Absolutely. Okay.
Dr. G here, just checking to see if you've ordered your Chokeberry Plus. What? You don't know what Chokeberry Plus is? Oh my. It is an amazing berry that has the highest ORAC level of most berries known to man. Actually, it's a step higher than elderberry, and it's much, much higher than berries such as noni, goji, and mangosteen. What is chokeberry, you ask? Well, chokeberry is an antiviral, it's antioxidant, and it's an immune system boosting berry. It also provides support and balance for the blood pressure, the blood sugar, and cholesterol. Yeah, in one little dose that you would take a day that's very pleasant tasting, like a glass of fine wine, you are going to provide yourself with a lot of protection especially in these times that we're living in. Like I said, it's antiviral, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory, among the balanced support that it provides for the blood sugar, the blood pressure, and the cholesterol. You want to know how you can get yours? Sure. Just text CB3L to 302-345-0500, and we'll shoot you out an order link. You want to get yours today, especially these times we're living in. We need some added support and protection. So I highly recommend Chokeberry Plus. And let me say this, Chokeberry Plus, and the chokeberry is also what's known as the aronia berry, but all of the chokeberry products out there are not created equal. We've got probably the best tasting, and you'll feel it the moment it hits your taste buds, and it actually does some things as soon as it hits your mouth. I'm not going to talk about that, but it's going to be good for you, good for your family. You can get a 60 serving 3-liter box shipped out within 2 to 3 days, and it's going to come by priority mail insured. So again, text CB3L to 302-345-0500 and get your chokeberry today. Peace.
Well, you know what? I got you all on here. I thought I better ask a question, get a little testimony. Sister Deborah,
Yes.
since you're still on here, can you tell the audience before we close out with the closeout how you've been, how chokeberry has affected you and Dennis? So what kind of results you're getting since you've been taking it?
Well, actually, I mean, I love chokeberry. I take it every morning. It's my, I say insulin level is down a lot. My husband's blood pressure went down tremendously. Thank God, tremendously. And I just love the taste of it. Not only that, the vitamin C, the antioxidants that it provides, it gives me energy. It helps with, to me, it helps with your skin as well. And as you say, antiviral, because on my job, I have a lot of people, that
We both.
yeah. So, but I love it. I love it.
Tell them how we was drinking it by the cupfuls. When we first
Yeah,
started.
drinking too much.
Oh yeah. When we first started, I was taking it by. I had a shot glass. I was taking it by the shot glass, thinking it was supposed to take by a shot glass. But now I have the little bottle that you take the dose each day, and it works. It really does.
All right.
So I have implemented that as a part of my regimen too.
Well, thank you so much. Well, listen, we're going. Thank y'all for being such a really great audience. Thank you. You know I love you all. And look, like I said, contact Dr. Love and whoever the advertisers that we put here. Just if we put something out here, hopefully you'll check it out. I try to bring you anything that's not something that's good for you. But we're going to leave now. How about that? We're going to close with why the world needs Qigong. When I'm up here, Deborah, doing all this stuff, I got to remember I'm rubbing my head and patting my stomach. But good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night. Dr. G. Really? Who's she? Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Who's she? Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really? Oh shit. Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Oh shit. Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Oh shit. Yeah, that's me. Dr. G. Really? Oh shit.